Colt Gray has made major headlines this last week for the shooting at Apalachee High School in Georgia. We're going to be going over details about the family leading up to this event, and then also about the family and the community afterwards. 37-year-old Marcy Gray had been married to 54-year-old Colin Gray for 14 years before they separated. Marcy was extremely open on social media, talking about traumatic events and abuse that her husband had suffered at his family's hands throughout his entire childhood. For many years, she had wrote about trying to help her husband and being there for him. She definitely seemed to be playing a role of trying to fix him and help him, thinking that she would be able to make a difference for him. But what's interesting is, with all of her openness on social media, she never disclosed her many issues. She had a 17-year criminal record for drugs, abuse, and more. In 2020, their dysfunctional relationship continued to grow, as well as money problems. They had been renting a house but no longer could afford payments, and they were evicted. The weird thing about this was they had 2 German Shepherds that they had had since they were puppies, and they left those 2 dogs behind when they moved, leaving it to the homeowner to find new homes for each dog. But even stranger, the couple had left their wedding photos at the house. They tried to contact Marcy to see if she still wanted them and was never able to get a hold of her. I think that this was a foreshadow that the relationship was coming to an end. Marcy would continue for years to write about her husband's abuse and his traumatic childhood, but in late 2022, the couple had separated. Colt's 2 younger siblings went with Marcy, and Colt stayed living with his dad. And as much as Marcy tried to paint Colin as the bad guy, her arrest records show that she had been arrested for drug possession, aggravated battery, theft, and criminal trespassing. She had even tied up her elderly mother and left her tied up for 24 hours. She had been in and out of jail for many years, and it seems to be as recent as April of this year. She also had a no-contact order at some point with Colin. Through this relationship, I think all 3 kids really suffered. Their home life seemed to be a mess, and going to school for Colt was not any easier. Colin had disclosed to police in 2023 that Colt was getting bullied heavily at school, being called names every day, and even some students pinching him. Colt had asked to switch schools, and when they moved to a different county, that's when they enrolled Colt at Apalachee High School. In 2023, Colt made the FBI watch list after writing different posts on the website Discord. On the website, he said that he was planning a school shooting and was still 2 to 3 years away from doing it. During the police interview with Colin disclosed the background information of being bullied, but said that his son showed no signs of harm or wanting to harm anyone. He did disclose that the 2 would hunt together, but that's it, and that if he ever found out that Colt did make those comments, that he would remove all the guns from the house. Kind of hauntingly, after the police left, Colt went to his dad and said, "Daddy, I'm a good boy. I never said that, and I would not do that." The police soon had to close the investigation, as they could not further confirm that it was in fact Colt who wrote those messages. And then just a few short months later, Colin bought Colt a new rifle for Christmas. That has now been confirmed that is the rifle that Colt used at the school. Last week, on September 4th, 2024, Colt's mom called the school at 9:50 a.m. Ann Brown, Marcy Gray's sister, confirms that she was on the phone with the school for 10 minutes. Marcy had received a text from her son that morning that said something to the effect of, "I'm sorry, Mom," which sent her into a panic for what he was about to do or what could happen. She told the school that it was an emergency and that staff needed to find him immediately and check on him. What we do know is that students confirmed that a Colt was pulled from a class, but it was the wrong Colt. The school is right now denying that they had a name mix-up, but the parents do not believe them, because just a few short minutes later, at 10:20, that is when the shooting started.
All I know is that a school female worker came looking for the kid about 10 to 15 minutes before he came back and started shooting. They got the wrong kid. They had the names mixed up, and she left, and about 10 to 15 minutes after she left the class, that's when he came back and approached the door that my daughter was in, and a girl went up to let him in but saw that he had a gun, and she backed away, and I guess that's when he just started shooting everybody else.
I saw the sheriff walk over to you. What was that conversation afterwards? Because obviously, I know you're a little angry because your daughter was in that class.
I basically just feel like he was calling me a liar, saying that the staff member wasn't looking for the shooter, that she was looking for the kid whose names they mixed up, but you can't tell me it's a coincidence that you're looking for somebody with that name, and 15 minutes later he shoots up the school.
Colt had left to go use the restroom, or at least that's what the class thought. He didn't take the pass, and when he returned back to the room, the door automatically locks. A student went to go let him in, and before she did, she decided to glance out the window, something her mom told her to do to be safe. She saw that he had a gun and then warned the teacher. Immediately, shots erupted in the hallway. The school just 2 weeks ago rolled out a new form of safety measures for the teachers. They had buttons on their badges, and if anything was going on in a specific area, they could press it so you would know where in the school something was happening. I think this saved many people's lives. Unfortunately, 4 people lost their lives. 2 students and 2 teachers. 2 officers at the school were able to subdue Colt and arrest him. He only said 3 words to them: "I did it." Following the arrest, the police raided his house. In Colt's bedroom, they found items about other school shootings. Colt was taken to Georgia Department of Juvenile Justice, where he will remain until he's 18. The following day, Colin Gray was arrested. He was taken to the Barrow County Jail. Colt made his first court appearance, and he is charged with 4 counts of felony murder. The same day, Colin went before the same judge. He is charged for second-degree murder and various other charges. Much like the Ethan Crumbley charges, his parents were the first in the nation to be charged and found guilty for when their son carried out a school shooting. Colin Gray will be the second one in America to ever be charged with the acts of his son. But with all the evidence, it seems clear that Colin knew that Colt was dealing with many issues, even having been on the FBI watch list and police coming to him, and then still decided to buy him a gun for Christmas. Although Colin hasn't made any formal public statements, Marcy has. Marcy has said, "I am so sorry and cannot fathom the pain and suffering the families are going through." Although short and quick to the point, I'm sure she's grappling with a lot of emotions as well. Colt's next hearing will be on December 4th, 2024.